Ah, can I sing with a cold? We're gonna find out. I have 54 seconds to show you how your heart was torn by disillusion, trapped by all the whims that we created, shaking with fear. Give way to the sun, it will remind you there are better days when you'll be smiling. Stop the apathy before it swallows us. Am I just the same? We need empathy. Do you believe me? We need empathy. I really want it. We need empathy. I really see it. Give me anything, however small. However small. Ooh. Yeah, that was...
Good evening, all you lonely people. You're listening to The Doctor on RTX,
Thank you,
the last
Brooks.
radio station on Earth. For the next commercial-free hour, you'll be listening to our featured group, This Is Anything Box.
Hi, y'all. How's it going? Oh, man, yes. I have a full-blown cold. It started probably last night. It's not at its apex yet, so I think I'm going through the fever stage. But, as all things go with fever stages, because, that's what you gotta go through. It's not vino tonight, it's iced tea, because that's all I can muster. Oh, man. It was the last thing I wanted to happen before I go to Austin. But what's really strange is this is exactly what happened last time I went to Austin, around the same time. So it's probably just the summer changes cold. I don't think it's anything really, I think I've done both. Starve the cold and feed the fever. So anyway, hi Wendy, hi J Money, hi Sebas, Angelica, Todd, Lisa, Angelica, Scott, thank you for being here. Alfonso, thank you. JP, all of you, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I have no idea how long I'm going to be here, because if I start my nose starts running, it's going to suck. So, yeah, Todd says on Facebook or Meta, you're preparing for Central Texas allergies. Absolutely. Anyway, I'm in my pajamas, and that's probably how I'm going to stay. So, anyway, how are you? Which means, by the way, everything is going to be weird that I play, because that's what happens. When I'm sick, I do weird stuff. So, unless, of course, there were some really good ones. But, yeah, I don't see anything really special on the... well, I think I saw one or two that were really good for tonight. But, yeah, I don't think people realize that you could do requests this evening. But anyway, for those of you who are following in the crypto world at all, very happy Bitcoin halving day, because it is the Bitcoin halving. It happened today. And you can't see most of my graphic, but it does say, enjoy the halving responsibly, although, of course, I have a cold. So, anyway, and there's your chats. Oh, nice. Yeah, maybe. So here's what we're going to do. Oops, sorry. First, I have to announce all the different shows because that'll save me a little bit of time. So I'll just announce the shows and I'll show you where you can find out all that stuff anyway. But here, I'll put the code. See, I can't even speak. I can't even speak. So everything can be found, of course, on anythingbox.com. But the 27th of April, which is like next week, I'll be in Austin. Hopefully not with a cold, or severely medicated, so it won't matter. But that's the truth, right? So it is the truth. I will be in Dallas shortly after that on May 18th. That's at 3 Links, if I read that correctly. June 15th, I will be in San Jose, Costa Rica. Excited about that one. July 6th, El Paso at the Rock House, and that's going to be fun. That's with The Hunger, by the way. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the one in Dallas is going to be with T for Two and Channel 69. Always looking forward to that. Then comes a couple of strange ones that I wasn't expecting to happen, and they've happened. July 13th, San Diego at the Kensington Club with Bob Haro. That's going to be a lot of fun because I did a gig with Bob in Hollywood, and it was really good. That was also with Blacklight, by the way. But yeah, this one is with Bob Haro. That's going to be fantastic. Then San Antonio, Texas on July 19th. Whoa. Oh, yeah. I thought for a second there was like the day after. No, thank God, no. Sam's Burger Joint on July 19th with Information Society. That's going to be cool. And then on July 20th, Houston at Numbers with Information Society. That's going to be cool. And on July 25th, flying all the way back to Los Angeles to do the Virgil once again. And that's going to be with Male Tears. I'm kind of looking forward to that, actually, a lot. And that's all I've got for the moment. And so, anyway. So this is what I'm going to do. So tonight, I basically went back to pilfer the very first Quarren streams to find like the weirdest stuff that I played. Just the weird stuff. Like as weird as it could be. While we do our, I don't know, what shall we call it? Theme for the evening. I thought I would tackle the starting over bit because I've done that a couple of times and it's not easy. And people always ask me like, how do you survive? Like, how do you like keep things going? And it's always like a difficult question to answer. So, Eric says, Male Tears, they are awesome. Yeah, they'll be playing here, man. I'll be with them in Hollywood. So that's going to be awesome. Donnie Paras on Meta says, hoping for Virginia this year. Man, I wish. We're still working on it, but nothing yet. Lisa says, I'll be in San Antonio and Houston. Awesome sauce. Cool. Come say hi. So yeah, Walter says I'll be in Dallas and Houston. That's awesome, man. So yeah, so anyway, the art of starting over. God, we did it so many times, but I guess if I'm going to tell the story correctly as we go through this, well, first of all, let me explain. I got an interesting, or I saw an interesting story. Well, we'll get into it. First, I'll play something. So again, all the stuff from tonight is based on my cold high and pilfering the first Quarren streams, to give you an idea of some of the stuff we played during the Quarren streams. But the first one that I'm going to play is a song that was originally supposed to be for the diary. And it was never released. And it's from a cassette because that's how I played it when we were all on lockdown. So I thought it would be funny to remember that because we're at that 4-year period, election year, no doubt. and all the craziness that was surrounding us then, I got a feeling is going to surround us again. So I think we're in for a really strange ride this year. So I figured it might as well be something like, Anyway, so this is 22 years, and this is like an old diary song. And when we come back, I'll tell you about the first start over, which was actually quite funny. Yeah. Wendy says, it's already started off with a bang. I mean, we've got all kinds of stuff on the table right now. Many things that I did not expect on my bingo card, but, it's not like we have to get into it, but you're well aware of all the crap that's going on. So it's just a weird ride. It's going to be a strange ride. So anyway, here we go. So I guess I'll turn on some visuals. I'll do the overheads because they're the fun ones. And yeah, 22 years.
Years of my dying inside, I've waited for you.
Ha! Whoops. Something else wanted to play. Oh, wow. This is such a weird angle. I guess I didn't do my homework with the cameras. Let's try something else. Hey. How's this one? Oh, this is better. Okay, good. At least I can talk to you and not look like, I don't know. Something went wrong with two of the cameras today. And I didn't care because I'm like, I have a cold. So I'm going to keep it simple. But so many questions. Nice. So yeah, it was during the time that we had just moved to California, and we were already having some problems with the label as we had just gotten signed, but we were already having trouble. So I kind of retreated inward and went back to revisit some songs that I had, and I recorded like an entire evening. I think over 2 days, I think I recorded about 13, 14 songs for the diary. And so, it was like, it was one of those things. And I quite like that period a lot, actually. Been wanting to revisit it on other levels, which, brings me back to the whole idea of the theme, which is starting over. And this is what's really hard sometimes. And so what I saw was really interesting. You guys know who, the song, someone that I used to know. You know that song, right? In fact, here, let me find the song in questions. I should have actually pulled this up, but it's very interesting. There it is. This one. I wonder if it'll play. It might play, it might not. I don't know. It's not looking like it's going to play. Instead, it's showing a foot commercial, which is funny. But basically, it's Gautier. That's the person. And I don't know if you know the story, but thank you, Eric. So Gautier. So it's a very interesting story behind that song. You should go look for the video. I should have gotten the link before I started this, but it was the thing that kind of started me off. And then an email that I got from a band that said, we haven't done anything in a long time and we don't know how to start again. Like, what should we do? Like, what do we do these days? And my honest advice to this person was just start. Like, you need to record a song. You need to update your site. Say, hey, we're back. And, just got to start over. And, I didn't ask, but it seems like this particular band had some sort of success for a little while. And then they kind of fizzled out of existence. So their idea of a comeback was, we come back, new name, new everything, and ditch the entire past and start from scratch. And I said to him, well, you could do it that way. You could start from scratch. I mean, that's a big, tall order. You can start from scratch by, find a new band name, write a new song, get a whole new site, get a whole new, set of social media channels, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know that that's the right solution, because that's really starting over. That's starting over from scratch, which is not quite the same if you just say, hey, we've been gone for a long time, but we're back. So we want to find the old people that we were connecting to, like our old fans. We want to know where you're at. And we want to make some new ones. And you kind of start from there, So that was my advice. And I'm not sure if it was good advice or not. I'm not, which is why I'm sort of talking about this topic. Because for me, it's worked out a couple of times where we were pretty down in some situations. And we came back from it. But every time we did it, it was a start over. It was not a complete start over, mind you, but it was a start over. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, and I'll get back to Gautier, I promise, because it's an important part of this whole story, a really important part. It actually gave me a wake-up call and set me on a weird trip. Like, I literally disappeared for 3 days after watching the video about Gautier. So, but my honest advice was, I think if you can start over, but don't start over fresh, because there's no reason to, unless you only released one song, it never went anywhere, band name never went anywhere. If that was the case, then you can start over as many times as you want, because the reality of it is, if nothing ever happened, then just start over. Like, there's no reason to not start over. Like, if a band name didn't take, all right, so you've got a new band name. The first song you ever released didn't go anywhere. Cool, write a new song, release it as the new band. Start over. Yes, it's a lot of work, but at least you're keeping that thing going. But my advice was different for this particular DM, because the way I thought of it was, you were around, you did have a song, you had more than one song from what I saw, and you amassed some sort of success. So whatever the reason was that it didn't go any further may have had something to do with labels, management, band members, people left, maybe some legal trouble, whatever it is, Oh, thank you. So Todd says, I think this is the advice I'd give also. Nice. Max, thank you. Hola, Claude. Saludos a todos, ABAX fam desde Lima, Perú. Hola, Lima. ¿Cómo están? Hola, Argentina. Hola, Lima. ¿Cómo están todos? Sudamérica, yes. Sorry. Went on to my South American tirade there, but yeah, well, like Pistols and PIL come to mind, but lots of different circumstances there. Obviously, there would have been legal ramifications if Johnny continued as Sex Pistols without the rest of them. And in that case, they all owned a stake in the name. So in the case of the person that emailed me, who I'm going to keep anonymous, they were the owner of the name. They were the founding member. There was no reason that I could see for them to change the name. I was like, you own the site, you own your own masters, you own everything. There is no reason for you to start from scratch. In fact, I would start planning a comeback, because that comeback would be, it could be really fruitful, but it's not going to kill you if people find out you had a record that sold 50,000 copies 5 years ago or 10 years ago. That's not going to hurt you. So I think that is something that is doable. Like, you could do it. So anyway, after I gave him that advice, I was feeling pretty good about myself. I thought, yeah, that was the right thing to do. I think I gave him the right advice. Although, who am I to give advice? I'm just a Pop-Tart. I mean, I'm not a Pop-Tart, but, when I say things like that, I feel like a Pop-Tart. Like, what does it matter what I think? By the way, this is another one, and this is a little gripe. That's a side gripe. I don't like it when bands send me a link to their stuff and say, tell me what you think about this song. Ooh, don't do that. I never send anyone that. Because quite frankly, I don't care what people think. If I write something and I like it and I'm proud of it, I do not need validation from the outside world, especially another band. So I'm not going to send my song that I worked on for 2 months, whether I like it or not is irrelevant, but let's just say I like it. I'm not going to send it to someone and say, hey, what do you think of my song that I just released? What if they come back and say, dude, it's fucking horrible, don't ever put it out? Like, what am I supposed to do with that response? And because we're friends, and this is inevitably the situation, oh my God, Manuel Perez, yes, I know, I saw that. That was crazy. But I'm going to talk about that too. So, at any rate, why would someone send me that? Like, what does it matter what I think? Honestly, it doesn't matter at all. Like, if I love the song or I hate the song, it matters not, because obviously, if I have the power to say, your song sucks, and then that band decides
to disband because they thought, oh my God, this band I looked up to said my song sucked. First of all, I wouldn't do that. So the other side of it is I would say, hey, it's pretty cool, but I'm really withholding the truth. It's a little white lie, because I would be withholding the truth because obviously I don't want to hurt anyone. So I don't like getting DMs like that, and I don't like sending them. So you're never going to get something from me where I play something. I'm like, what do you think of it? I don't. I might say, I'll tell you what I think of it. It's a weird song. This is really strange. Whatever. It's on a cassette, what I just did. And whether people like it or not, that's none of my business. That's how I look at it. So anyway. Ooh, nice one. Wendy says, I have seen Peter Hook and the Light as well, and they play New Water. They play both. They play New Water songs. Yeah, again, same situation. Peter Hook doesn't count because Peter Hook had to start over. He left New Order. New Order continued, so he can't be New Order, so he has to start over. But where I would draw the line in the opposite direction would be Peter Hook leaves and the rest of New Order decide, well, since Peter left, we can't continue as New Order. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of a situation. Which, some people have said the same thing about A-Box too, even though, they don't realize I'm the person that wrote everything and recorded 99% of everything. But there's people that say, why do you call yourself Anything Box if the other two are gone? It's like, I was here before. So it's not that I have anything against that sort of thing. I'm just saying that is the advice I gave. But anyway, so I have 11 weird tracks. So one of you pick a number between 1 and 11, and whichever one you pick is the next one I'm going to play. So come on, first person. One number from 1 to 11, and I will play that exact song, even though it may be very embarrassing. So, oh boy, Brian wins it. Oh my God, Brian, what have you done? No, you'll have to wait. The rest of you will have to wait till the next time I announce it. But Brian won. Brian Spencer on YouTube. You picked number 3. Number 3 is a strange one indeed. This is from 1988. It was recorded straight off of a radio station that played it. And I don't have the master tape. So all we have is this really bad copy of the song that was played on a radio station in New Jersey, and we just happened to grab it when we got home. So the story behind this, and this was one of the early Quarren streams when I played the whole thing, by the way, is that Mikey hit me up, Mike, who was in the band at the time, hit me up and said, hey, I got us an interview at a radio station, but they want to play something new. And I had 2 new songs that I had just finished demoing. One was a very badly recorded version of Our Dreams. And the other one was this song, and I had just finished it. So we took the reel-to-reel, turned it into a tape, drove over to the radio station, played this song, then drove back home, and then recorded it off the air because we wanted a copy from, the radio station. As it stands, to this day, no one has found the master copy. So all we have is this version. Eric, you got it, man. But yes, Brian, song number 3 is The Temples Are Silent.
They've got to pray, they've got to pray, they have to take the pain away from our hearts, from our hands, from the sea and from the land. If you want to come inside these empty walls.
Yeah, 1987, man. I think the tail end of 87, 88. Right before we moved, I think, because that's when we did that interview. And that's so cool. Yeah, one day you'll have to bring her. Hi, Esther. Hi. Saying hi to one of the youngest fans, whose plushie I have sitting right here on my windowsill. Look, nice. So I'm going to put it back to its nice spot, which I love seeing. I love seeing it there because it puts a smile on my face every day when I sit down in this room. Steve. Steve is in the house. Home sweet home. And I tune into this track. You're so funny. You're funny. Lasers. Yes, of course. Because you have to have the lasers if you're going to do, that kind of stuff. But yeah, so the topic at hand was starting over and why I brought up Gautier. So Gautier was an insane story. So the song, from what I gathered, reached to a whopping billion something streams on YouTube. It was unprecedented. He wasn't ready for it. At first, he embraced it. As someone wrote, because I lost the chat, but someone wrote, I think it was up here. Hold on. I want to just get back to it because I saw this actually, and it was really interesting. Yeah. Manuel Perez wrote on Meta, Prince handed him the Grammy. Can you imagine? You have a song. It's got millions of views on YouTube. You win a Grammy, and flippin' Prince hands you the Grammy. That's crazy talk. So yeah, so this is what happened. Oh, thank you, Todd. I may someday. I may. If I feel like starting over yet again, especially when it comes to songs, because that's actually the hardest one. But so yeah, so Gautier gets these billions of views. He becomes uber famous in his country, but pretty much worldwide. And no matter what interview he's on, he's asked about that particular song. And then it gets to the point where he just can't do anything. Like he literally cannot start. He can't start a new project. He tries to get his old band back together. That doesn't work because he had a band before that. Gautier was actually his side project from his real band, which is really funny. And funny in an ironic way. I don't think it's funny as in ha funny. But the irony there, though, is he couldn't escape the fame that song brought, to the point where he quit. He gave up. And he didn't record anything else because he couldn't start over. And I don't know why, but when I watched that video, oh man, it literally scared the bejesus out of me. Like, it scared me half to death. I was like thinking, like, what would have happened if the song, especially a version that I don't really like that much, because if you know the story, you know. If you don't, you'll have to look it up. I'm not going to tell it again, but if the version of the song that I don't like had gone to number one and sold millions and millions and billions of copies, like, I don't know how I would have reacted to the same situation. And watching that video felt really sad and very scary. While I play the next track, or whatever track we decide, I'm going to look for the proper video that I saw. And I'll link it because you should watch it. I wish I could just play it, but it won't let me. I tried. It won't play. But it was crazy, man. Crazy how he couldn't take it. But I don't blame him. That's the thing. There's a side of me that thought, dude, you could have sucked it up. You could have started over. But I couldn't see how, based on the way that he was approached. It seemed like no matter what he brought up, like, I'm working on a new track, someone would say, is it going to sound like someone that I used to know? And you could see it in his face. He just, like, God. And then another weird thing happened to him, which is another odd thing. He felt that the lyrics somehow had seemed to have caused this mass breakup of people that would say, I relate to it so much that I, broke up with my, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And it almost felt like to him that he was responsible somehow for a downturn in the way relationships work. I mean, I can't say that doesn't sound a bit on the egotistical side, because obviously a pop song can't really do that. But at the same time, it does have a certain amount of power. So it's got to be one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I definitely think you should watch it. It was fascinating. And like I said, it scared the living bejesus out of me. So much so that I had to kind of draw back for a few days. And I found myself working on the new record and the album with this sense of like, is that what I'm doing? Like, am I starting over? Like, am I going to have to face all these weird questions about this? Should I just because I have 2 records that I'm working on at the same time. Hint. And I'm like, should I just put the weird one out first just to get it out of the way? Because people are going to hate it anyway. Or should I just continue? Like, I couldn't figure out where to go from there. And that's when that DM arrived from that other band. And I thought, I'm going to help this person out at least. And so I gave him that advice. And then a couple of days later, I was like second guessing myself. Like, did I give that person the right advice to say that you should start over? So yeah, anyway, it threw me for a loop. And needless to say, the week went kind of it took a weird turn. And I found myself kind of going back to basics in some weird way. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do next. And even though I have a record in the queue. And so then I had to go back and say to myself, dude, you have a record. You just finished a record. You need to focus your attention on the curation of the art, getting the album stuff done, and just whatever you do, don't watch this stuff, because it's actually that hurt. So anyway, pick a number between 1 and 11 for the next track. And whichever one I see first, that's the one we're playing. And it could come from a tape. It could be a remix. I don't know what it's going to be. But we have 11 songs. Number 3 is taken. So I guess skip number 3. But Alfonso, Petty Jr., and Lisa, and Esteban all picked number 7. Oh my God, what is number 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Y'all are gonna hate this. So number 7 wins. So this one is, I believe, from the 3rd, maybe 4th Quarant Stream. I'm not sure. So this is from 2020, and it was a song that I had written in my living room with the lights turned off during lockdown. That's what this one is. So 7 is the one. Ooh, boy. Yeah, scary one. But, it's a different side, right? So this is all acoustic, recorded straight to my little... Here it is. It's sitting right here in front of me because I love this thing. Did I ever tell you how much I love this little thing? This is one of my favorite pieces of kit in the entire world. This tiny little unassuming recorder. I love this thing. Just saying. Oh, Todd. That's a great example. Todd Livingston on Meta brought up Ministry and is a great example of that for me. Meaning that I'm thinking that you're talking about either that there's songs that you don't like and songs that you like, but regardless, they are a band that started over. They completely started over. They ditched a pop sound that they had cultivated with a following, by the way. So I think that in Ministry's case, that was a very huge 360. They didn't need to start over. They could have continued exactly where they were. But they chose to go in a completely opposite direction, which was indeed for them starting over. So that's an interesting one. Thanks for bringing that one up, Todd. That's an interesting one all around. We'll get into that one when I come back. But here, and I'll come back pretty quick because this is a quick song. So here you go. This is track number 7 of the Unknowns. Wait, did I pick the right one? Hold on. Maybe I picked the wrong one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no, picked the right one. The Lockdown. And yeah. The Lockdown. Oh man.
I close the door, draw the blinds, turn the TV and the radio on. In the dark, I look around and I see nothing there, but I don't know what is wrong with me. I am going slightly crazy, and I know I close the door, draw the blinds, turn the radio and TV off. In the dark, I make myself fall around, but I don't know how to sleep. I can only wait to dream. I am going slightly crazy.
Yeah, that was number 7. Ooh, what a strange choice. Yeah. So, oh, Steve, nice question. Even though it's Steve, like you, I know that some people would be like, yeah, of course you're going to get a question from Steve and answer it. But no, it's a good question. He says, what are your thoughts on starting over versus actual reinvention? So many bands have succeeded after pretty much reinventing themselves. So, reinvention is a different term. So I think now that I've thought about it a little longer, what Ministry did was completely reinvent themselves. So what I think Ministry did was, this is what got us to where we wanted to be, and now we're into something else. And so we're going to have to revamp this whole thing that we're doing. And, you know, this is where we're going, period. And we're going to reinvent ourselves. Because, I mean, Al doesn't look anything like he looked during the first 2 albums. I would venture to say up until the 3rd even. So they completely changed their look. They changed their music. They changed everything. And I will say that some fans from the earliest days, they did not, what's the word I want? Because I don't want to say they didn't care, because obviously they cared. They hoped that everyone would understand, but obviously certain fans didn't understand. There were fans that only wanted Ministry, you know, pre-Halloween days. And then there's people that were fully now new fans that didn't want anything to do with that time period, which I find interesting because now Ministry has decided maybe we're going to play some of those old songs. So I think that's cool. I think that's actually a very cool thing to do. So I would call that a reinvention. I would call that a type of reinvention versus a start over. Start over for, well, I'll say it. Starting over for ABOX was leaving Epic, having a major label with major label power, going straight to independent. That I would consider a start over. We did not reinvent ourselves in that sense. We recorded what we thought would be the logical third album. We wanted to maintain our fan base. But much to the chagrin of some people that were managing us at the time, we did not change the name of the band. We did not change everything because you're on a losing team. You just got dropped by a major label. What are you going to do? If you release something with this thing, it's almost like you have the the letter R stuck to your forehead. Everyone's going to reject the songs. And, and this is, of course, what happened. But in the interim, we did something that I feel, as maybe egotistical as it may sound, was better. We overcame that aspect of it and we were able to hang on, and we continued to work, and we did work. We released more records. I'm still here. I'm still touring. As you can see from my page, the anythingbox.com page, I have gigs and I've maintained it. So starting over was very difficult, extremely, extremely difficult, but I did it. So, on that level, I think it's, I don't know. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. And that, of course, yes, thank you, Scott. Scott Caffrey on Meta says persistence. That's where persistence pays. So again, coming back to Gautier, I mean, it's a weird. I wish I could meet him. I wish I could talk to him. I would talk to him in a heartbeat. I'd sit down and have a beer with him and just tell him, like, you got this. Just forget everything you ever did before. Just release something new with no expectation. None. Don't care if people like it or not. I wish I could. But the story to me, though, seems so sad that, like I said, it threw me for a loop. So, yeah, it was so anyway, so getting that message from this band, which I guess which I said I would keep anonymous, basically saying, like, we had something, but we've just been off the radar for like a couple of years, and we're just thinking about getting back into it. What should we do? My first response, once again, was, don't change the name of the band. Don't change anything. Just update your website, update all your socials, like telling people we're back. We're going to release new things. This is where we're at. This is where we're going to go. Whether it's the direct progression of where we were, in this case, it sounded like it. So I was like, stick to that. And then the other aspect was, you want to find all those fans you had, find them, find where they are, and get them. Which is funny because this is what I've been talking about, what I was talking about the week before, which maybe is what prompted the DM. I'll have to ask him. Because it's the same method. It's like, look, I'm going to be honest here. Like, this is like a weird thing to say, but if Living in Oblivion, for example, sold 500,000 copies just in the US, which apparently this is what it was. I say apparently because I've still never gotten a real true accounting from Epic, but that's another story. But assuming that number is correct, let's say that it was 500,000 people. Right now, at this very moment, there's 48 people watching this stream. And although the shows have been great, I would say that the average count of heads is about 1,000. If I had to average it out, because it's getting much, much better. I see a lot of people coming out to the shows, which is fantastic. So for me, it's not starting over, but I don't reach those 500,000 people. So the advice that I gave to him is almost the same advice that I'm giving to myself, which is you need to find out where those 400,000 people are and what they're doing. If they're even people that, and this is going to sound terrible, but hear me out because I trust you. If you care, because if it was just 500,000 random people that just bought a cool song that they liked, that doesn't mean they're going to be fans for life. So what I said was cultivate what you had, find them, and see if you can make new ones from there. I'm like, but you have to start over. You are in a sense starting over, but not really, because you have stuff, unless you go the other route and you change the name of the band, you change the website, you change everything. But then that gets into weird territory. Like I think that gets into that Peter Hook category. So yeah, Peter Hook and the Light is great, but I'm sorry, I don't love them the way that I love New Order. So it didn't grab me in the same way. It didn't, and I'm being honest. So I'm fiercely loyal, more so to Joy Division than I am to the Light. It's not Peter Hook's fault. It's just the way it is. So he didn't grab me, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to grab other people. And, obviously he's done a good job. So I'm not going to fault him for it. So for him, it is a start over. He has to start from the top because it's not New Order. Whereas New Order, on the other hand, can release a new album. I may listen to it. I may like it. I may buy it, or I might not. But I still follow New Order. So I think that on that level, it's worth not ditching your name. Believe me, there was a time, Steve will know, there was a time where I thought, we're starting over. I'm going to talk about that in the next round, where we literally were going to start over. And I had to pick the name for the band and everything. And I had even gone so far as to print zines talking about the new name and that Anything Box was done and there was not going to be any more Anything Box records. I mean, this was a real thing. I'm glad that never happened. I'm glad that in the end we decided not to do it because it was worth not doing, despite the troubles we were having at that time. But I'll get into that when we come back. But all right, it's that time. Pick a number, 1 to 11, and I'm going to sneeze. Oh my God, I have a cold. Sorry. Turn off the mic. I'm going to sneeze. I have a cold. Sorry. Blowing my nose in camera. Ooh. Oh, wow. Lalo from Lima hit it. He said number 6. Let's find out what that is. Number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, this is Lalo, you picked one of the weirdest ones yet. Oh my God. Yep. No, Lalo is first. Sorry, it's whoever's first. So you gotta type. Wow, some good choices in there. Well, one would have been good, man. J-Wire's in the house. That's funny, Steve. You almost got it. Almost. Oh, Brian says, I assume you're using a Mac. I owe you a mute button. Actually, I can't mute. It's almost impossible to mute. Well, maybe. Hold on. Let me see. Can I mute? Yep. It still goes out. It's because the way the stream thing works, the only way I can mute is if I so I can mute. So if I have to sneeze, that's what I'm going to do. It's starting. It's awful, man. I have a cold. So, number 6. Number 6 is one of the songs from around the time period of the lockdown. This was from, I want to say, Quarantine Stream 9 or 10. This was when I started to feel very rebellious about the rules, and I started to go back to the park. And I would go to the park with my Mac, a tiny little microphone, and when that microphone stopped working, I would use the one that was built into the Mac, and I started doing what I called memo songs. And memo songs are really interesting because, well, you might not think it's interesting when I play it, but that's besides the point. But what memo songs are is basically, rather than just hitting record and trying to get a song down, I would actually screen record it. And the reason I would screen record it is because I was either doing something with processing, or, you know, I was using a synth in a weird way while I was in the park. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget what presets and what things I was using. So I found out that I actually like the sound that I was getting from the Mac's. Well, it's a software piece that I use on the Mac that is a screen grab, but it does really good audio, at least with what I had on hand. So every other day I would take a walk to this little lagoon that's near, that's in my town, Long Beach. And it's a nice lagoon. Although right now it's all under construction for like the longest time. I guess they figured people were going to the park during 2020 and they decided to stop having people go to the park. So they ruined it. But anyway, I would go there and I would run the screen capture, do a quick run through of the song with my made up words at that moment because they weren't even written down. And that would become the basis for a song to record later. The problem was that I was doing so many of these that I accumulated about 50. So I have 50 memo songs sitting on a hard drive that at some point I can pull out of like pulling a rabbit out of a hat and say, I think I'll work on this one. But that hasn't happened because obviously I worked on other things, including new record and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, this is one of the ones that kind of like the melody a lot. And so number 6 is a song called Adaptation. And this was done with Reactor and nothing but Reactor and a screen capture device. So it is what it is, my friends. You picked it, you get it. Ooh.
Take it all, take it all. Everything that you see is yours for you and me. Take it all, for in time. Ignore the ignorant. Face up what you will face up now. can decide for yourself.
A memo song. Oh, wow. Yep, adaptation number 6. Ooh, yeah, you picked. Wow, it's kind of leaving some weird, really cool ones towards the end, which is kind of cool. That's good. So yes, tomorrow is record day, huh? Wow. So crazy. All these things like winding up so close together. So I'm taking part in an exhibition called Object for Object on Object. And so yeah, I think I'm going to shill that right now because I can. So I'm going to shill something right now. So if you follow me on Object, I have lots of NFTs and all that kind of stuff. But this one that I'm going to pull up real quick is a very interesting one. And so I'm going to tell you right now, if you, oh, it's not loading. Oh, there it goes. If it may not seem like much, but I'm going to tell you, if you get this one, if this is the one I'm going to shill, because look, I'm going to pop that link right in there so that it goes into there. If you wind up getting this one, there are 2 additional artifacts that you can unlock. And one of them is a place where I would not want to start over. But I know that every single person on the face of this planet that loves Anything Box always tells me, where is this track? Where is this track? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you can't get it any other way. I'm never going to release it, ever, because I don't like it. But that doesn't mean you don't like it. You would love it. So the only way to get it, though, is through here. And so that is that. I'm going to leave it at that. It's self-explanatory. You buy it, then you can unlock it. There's a little website down here that you can see that when you go there, it'll allow you to unlock this key. It's a key. So when you unlock the key, you get what's behind the door. And yeah, I thought I would do something funny like that because it's, like I said, it's called Object for Object, and it's really cool. I'm enjoying a lot of the art that I'm seeing on it, and I'm going to be collecting some probably tomorrow and tonight after I finish here. And by the way, this object is 99 cents, so it's not like it's some terribly expensive thing. All the art that's under this exhibition, whether mine or other people's, is from $0 to about $1. So support the artists, support them, and check it out. Going back to the chat here, but yeah, there is a key, and you know, it is what it is. I'm sure. Oh, J Money says Sony should release the singles as RSD version. Man, I don't know that they're ever going to release anything. I think that the only way to get Sony to release something is for me to release it, have them take it down and think, oh, that's a really good idea. Let's release that, because that's what they do with Peace. So I think that's the only way. So yeah, if I want to release something, I'd have to release it, have them take it down, take a copyright ding on my own material, and then they would put it out. So maybe that's how I'll do it. But anyway, oh, good. Thank you, sending me love. Yeah, I'm doing the Object for Object thing. So it's a good one. Although the piece itself is just strange. But yeah, the endless Sony bill. Although I'm going to tell you something funny. I have been getting a royalty from Sony. I finally started getting a royalty. And it's not a royalty from the record. It's a royalty from a weird COVID subsidy that they got from the government. So I'm not even joking here. So the government basically paid Sony a bunch of money, Sony, and said, this is to distribute to all the artists that have not recouped. You have to do it. And so Sony is slowly siphoning this money off. And I got my first royalties from Sony that way. So it took a flippin' pandemic for them to pay me some royalties. What do you think of that? But so, oh, thank you for asking. Let me get that link for you. Ooh, snap. So here's the link. And there's more than art. So read it, do it, you'll figure it out. It'll be fun. I promise. It'll be fun. If you go to the last step, you'll have a fun time. Especially if you like that song, that particular song, that can't sing. But you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, oh my God, my cold. Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. So yeah. But so another time that we had to start over, I was talking about this before, was right around the time that we were trying. See, this is when ABOX was trying to, quote, reinvent itself, where we decided to do what Ministry did. We thought, well, it actually started with, let me digress here. Sorry. It actually started with having 2 new members in the band. So I wound up with Dave. And then, of course, and I say new members, but Paul had come back. So Paul primarily would play guitar on stage. And Dave could play guitar and bass and keyboards. And so, we would swap instruments. So obviously, that got into the studio in the idea that, now that we have this extra instrumentation, we could record some of this stuff. So we started to record things with guitars in it and real bass and somewhat real drums. And so we started to get into this completely different mode. And the subject came up more than once about changing the name of Anything Box to something else. And so right as the album was being recorded, we decided, yeah, we're going to do it. At first, everyone was with me. We did it. I went through the motions. I literally got a new name. I was going to, and believe it or not, it was not a bad name, but it wasn't it was never going to work. I knew in my heart it was never going to work. No matter how weird the name Anything Box is, it was just this new name that we came up with was never, ever going to represent us. And I knew it. But of course, we had made the decision. So we went all the way forward with this. We're going to do this. And so the first idea was, let's release the album as Anything Box, but call it the last Anything Box album, because what's going to follow will be something completely different, and that'll be under the new name. And the name, by the way, was Star. We were going to call ourselves Star. Just Star. Dumb name. But anyway, actually a very good name, but it was taken by 1 million people who already sued each other left and right. Nobody has Anything Box that's unique. And that was what was cool. But we didn't, at that time we were thinking we're reinventing ourselves here. So the idea that we would change everything just because we changed the way the band sounded seemed like a good idea. And to me, thank goodness we didn't do it, because I think that would have been the entirety, total ruin of Anything Box. So the way that Anything Box stands at this very moment in time in my head, just if I'm going to be honest here, is no matter what or how weird it gets, I'm not changing it. I don't care if I decide to do nothing but strange IDM instrumentals, it's going to be Anything Box. If I become a metal band, which I wouldn't, but if I do, it'll flip and stay Anything Box. That is what going to be. So it was bizarre, you know, like you would think, oh, Wendy asked, how did the diary name come about? I've told that one before, but I'll save that for the next segment because that's an interesting one too. Like it would have made sense, like if we said, okay, we'll just call this a diary album and be done with it. So I don't know why we didn't do that instead, but anyway, we were so close. I'm telling you, we printed about 20,000 zines, and these weren't zines like you know, like 4 pages. These were like 32 pages from what I remember. And they had like articles and all kinds of stuff in it. And I don't even know where all of them went. I know half of them got destroyed when the flood happened in the Fullerton studio. And the other half that I had, I threw it all out. So, you know, no, I've never encountered a nothing box. That's funny. So, yeah. You know, so as far as like, I don't know, as far as like wanting to change your name, be careful. Be careful if you do that. Like I would tell, like if I was able to tell Gautier right now, like, dude, do not change your name. Just put something out. Again, don't care what the public says. Don't care. You need to grow a thicker skin to say it's not, you know, that was a song you used to know, okay? Like every time they ask you, just say that. That was a song you used to know. This is the new Gautier. Or my very favorite is to answer like Johnny Rotten would answer. Next question. Is that all you've got? You're boring. Sometimes you need to be antagonistic with the interviewer. So that's what I would do if I was you, Gautier. So if you're watching this, if for some reason this winds up on your radar, get back to the studio, make music the way you used to make music when you just loved to make music. Don't care about the public. Don't give a rat's ass about the media. Don't think about social media, how many likes and all that stuff, because it doesn't matter. What really matters is that you do the music you want to do. So that's what I would tell him. Would that be considered good advice? I mean, like, you know? Seba says, you could have made Orange Star, a mix of Tangerine with Star, kinda. Maybe. That's a funny one. Maybe that would have worked. All right. A number from 1 to 11. First one gets it. So if you had that number ready to go, man, just do it. First one that pops up, that's the one I'm playing. Number from 1 to 11. Steve, for shame. You really wanted to be in there. Oh. Steve wins. And it's not made up. It's not predetermined. Steve wins. He picked number 9. I don't even know what number 9 is. I'm going to find out in about 1 second here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Well. Steve picks the one properly recorded song of the evening, which is funny. But yeah, Steve won it. He's on Meta, and he was quick. Oh, man. Ooh, let me see. Let me look at that. I got a link from J-Wires. I read this, but I think I read this one. Yeah, he hasn't done it, man. So, just to be clear, J-Wires, I actually read this story, and I had seen an interview with him in Tape Op talking about this very thing. In fact, here, I'll bring it up. I'll bring up the link that you just sent me because it's very interesting. So, what Gautier was up to, he basically moved to New York, and he was going to basically bring back these old electronic instruments and record an album of sorts using them. So there you go. And I mean, he'd basically gotten the Onde, I'm going to say this wrong, but the Ondes Martin, gosh, I already said it wrong. Anyway, he was going to bring back these old forgotten instruments, and in reality, it didn't actually pan out. He actually didn't do it. I found out, sorry, I'm going to turn up the light in here because now the fever is going up. I know I have a fever now. Ooh, I have a cold, peeps. So I know that he was working on this project, but he stopped. And the last post that people saw was that basically he's taking a break and he doesn't know when he's coming back. And I believe this project, whatever part he was playing in it, was abandoned. So it's a little bit of it's sad. It's a very, very sad story. And while this next, I know Scott says, Tylenol, believe me, I already took it. It's kind of working, but it's not working. So after I finish this thing, I'm going to drink a lot more water, pop another vitamin D, and then get some rest, man. Because I feel it. I have to get better before Austin. So, but from what I've seen from everyone else that's gotten it around me, for them it lasted about 3 days. So I'm on day 1, basically. I'm on the verge of the peak. So tomorrow I'll be probably terrible, and Sunday I'll start to feel better, and then I have rehearsals. Isn't that great? But I think it'll be fine. I'll be fine. But thanks. So I'm going to play song number 9, which it was Steve's, and he doesn't know what it is. No one knows what the songs are, but yeah. Yes, that's right, man. Vitamin C and zinc. I believe it. Believe me, I have it in powdered form. I actually did a bunch of stuff today, and so I know it's already helping me, but it is going to hit me hard tonight. I know it. But I'm already getting chills. Crazy. So anyway, this is Steve's pick from The Universe is Expanding, as a matter of fact. I don't know how you did that one, Steve. You pulled it out of a hat. Clean. Honestly, Steve, I have no idea. Steve is asking me if this is the longer version or the short version. This could be the longer version. I'm not sure. I'm glad you actually asked me that question because I'm not sure. It just goes to show you how far behind I am in all these like releases and whatnot because God, I keep talking about starting over. But you know, that's the other thing. Like, I mean, I could spend the rest of my life basically trying to like catch up with every single song I've not recorded and start over on that song. Like it would take me forever. I would never write any new music whatsoever. And I don't want to do that. That's just not me. I mean, I would if I had more. I don't know. I can't even say that if it's not a time issue. I feel like it's more of a logistics issue. So I don't know. I think I'm going to try to do that. And I've been saying that for a while, but I'm just not that interested in just finding every single edit of every single song and like, oh, this is the long one, this is the short one, and releasing it all. Because it's like so hard. Because a part of me would not, you know how I am, Steve. You know that I wouldn't want to just put it out. It would be like, it has to have a nice cover. It has to have something to go with it. It has to be like good. So like I like to do things with my releases. So, but I guess there's a point in time where I got to think about like just archive stuff, I guess, huh? Yeah, like Lisa says on Meta, onward and upward. Oh, yeah, the edit has the beginning in which we start the track backwards. Oh, that's right. Okay, so this is the long one then. So this had to be the long one. I should make note of it so that I can put it out and have it somewhere. Because obviously somebody's going to want it and then, you know. So, you know, that's that, I guess. But anyway, yeah, that was I'm going to do it one more time before we continue. That was the video, by the way. I just put it on my on the chat so you guys can watch it when this thing's over. I totally recommend you watch it. Yes, it is a bit of a downer. It is sad, but at the same time, it's a very good lesson that you have to prepare for your career. You have to prepare for almost anything. So I'm glad that things went the way they went in the trajectories that they went in. Because now I look back and I think there's a lot of times where the events that were taking place would have killed me. You know, so all the events in my life that have occurred throughout the band's history, I am very lucky that they were surmountable things. They weren't that crazy. I'm lucky, you know, in that way. So I'm not going to deny it. So I never had to worry about that. You know, I mean, obviously there's pressure, but it's a little bit more doable than it was, you know, than it was for someone like Gautier. Like, you know, like I said, I can't even imagine getting a Grammy from Prince and then deciding to call it quits. Like, I just can't. I can't fathom how much bad stuff has to happen in your head for that to occur. And quite frankly, I don't want to know. Well, I would like to know. Like I said, I would want to reach out to him and talk to him. I would be happy to. So who knows? Like I said, maybe he'll watch this and say, hey, he seems like an interesting person. Maybe I will. Maybe he'll call me and tell me to F off that he's making a new album and he's all set. So maybe that's what'll happen. I don't know. All right. I don't. All right. There it is. You need to do it now. You can't do it. It's not fair to do it when I'm talking after. So here it goes. Boom. Number from 1 to 11. Oh, good. Good, Jay. Good. Thank you. Thank you for that information. By the way, if you ever talk to him, tell him I'd love to talk to him. Ooh, Joseph. Joseph on Meta picked song 3. But I thought we did number 3, didn't we? Yeah, we did number 3. We did number 3, Joe. It's too bad because we did number 3. So it has to go to the next person. Donnie Badas on Maida picked song 1, which I'm glad he picked song 1 because I was thinking, man, can't end the show and we don't get it because that was one of the cool ones. So this is a demo that I was going to release back in 2021. And then I changed my mind because I don't like the way that I finished the vocal. So I'm going to go back and fix this. But this version is pretty cool because it's a live version. So the instrumental to this song do not exist. In other words, there's only a stereo mix of this song. There is no multi-track version. There's only an instrumental. So I had to edit it to fit its new vocal. And so I'm lucky that the instrumental is good enough. But the vocal needs to be fixed. So I'm going to work on that. But anyway, it's a demo. And yeah, I would play the Andolin for sure. For sure, man. I would do it. So anyway, here we go. And this one, by the way, was also a request. One of the first requests I got of the evening before the show started. So this one goes out to Scott. Scott, if you're listening, eating your, what was it you were having? Not crab. It was not crab. It was, ooh, God, my memory. It's the cold. Oh, man. Terrible. Anyway, here you go. Diamond.
Polished purity never fades away from lights. Unlike a soul, follow all these curves.
Diamond. Yeah, I think I just have to go back and revisit the mix because it was done with a different pair of cans, and they don't reproduce the bass quite right. So, in listening to it in here, in these other ones that I have that I really like, I think the vocals sitting weird. So gonna fix that before I release it. But who knows? Who knows if I will? But because that's also part of this whole idea of starting over. Cause it feels like starting over. I can't even sing right now. Who am I kidding? Oh, terrible. It hurts, man. So, but anyway, to get back on topic before we start closing up this evening. So you can start over. You can. Any creative endeavor, like even if you stopped, let's say, because it doesn't relate to just music. It has to do with art too. Like, let's say that you were drawing for many, many years and you felt like you were getting really good and then you just stopped. You just stopped drawing for whatever reason. Life, maybe you had a relationship problem, maybe some mental health issues, like lost a job or you work so hard that you don't know how to get back to it. The reality of it is you can just start over. And it's not a terrible thing to start over. All you have to do is take the first step. Just start. Just go back, pull out your pencils, draw some stick figures, and God knows I've done that a million times. I still draw stick figures, but it's what you have to do sometimes. Sometimes the only way out is through. And starting over is not so bad. I feel that if you do it wholeheartedly, you can pick up almost where you left off. Not quite, but you'll kind of get a new momentum. And that, my friends, is where reinvention comes in. That's when you start to see new ways of doing the old things you were doing. And that's when I think, that's when I think you can actually restart your career if you had one and it didn't go well, So, Lisa says, I had to start a new career after the pandemic. No, I get it. I was out of work for almost 2 years. And it was crazy. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. So, I don't know. Sometimes I think about it now that you brought it up. I don't know what would have happened if just 3 or 4 more months of that had gone on where I didn't have work. Like, I don't know what the heck I would have done. Talk about a start over. But for me, like I said, I got lucky in that when, 2021, the end of 2021 kind of hit, I was able to get shows and suddenly start the process over again. But I had to rebuild everything. I had a bank account that was drained, just like everybody else. I had, I had gone through surgery, like a bunch of stuff had happened that I had to rebuild from zero money back to some semblance of survival. So I do know how difficult that was. So you can start over. It takes time. It takes work. It takes perseverance, but you can start over. So so if you're a creative and you're thinking about the idea of coming back to your art, I fully support you. But I'm going to tell you right now, unless you really, really think this through, do not change the name of your band. Do not change your website and all that stuff with some new fancy name because you think that that's the right way. You can pick up where you left off. Be honest. Just tell people, hey, I'm back. Things are weird, but I'm back. I'm going to work hard. You're my people. I want to find your people. And we're good. You know what I mean? So, anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that for the moment. And 9:46 and a number 1 through 11. Pick it. Let's see what we pull out of the hat. Ooh, and the magic number is going to be what? So far, no number. Yeah, whoever has the number 1 through 11 gets it up. Lisa got it. Lisa got it. She picked number 11. Oh, this is going to be funny. So, Lisa, this is what you picked. So, Lisa on Meta picked number 11. Number 11 actually comes from God, this is crazy. This one comes from 1985. Wait, no, thinking of the wrong one. Ooh, no. Thank God you didn't pick that one. No, you didn't pick that one. You picked number 11. 11 is one that was recorded in 1989, direct to tape. It was real late at night. I had a cold, which is actually funny. I had a cold. And I was trying to sing soft so that nobody would wake up, but the music was very industrial, so I was trying to figure out how to not wake everybody up and then record it. It's a funny song, but yeah, it's on the industrial end of the spectrum with Claude with a Cold in 1989. And here you go. This is called It Seemed Like an Idea. Oh my God, what did you pick? Yeah, I woke up the whole house. I just remember that it was really late at night and I was trying to like trying to be really quiet, but then I kind of liked what it sounded like. And then I don't know, I think it was still loud. And I think that I started to just kept pulling the volume up and up and up until everyone was up and going like, what the hell are you doing? When the studio used to be in the living room, because when we first moved to California, this is one of the ones from the first move. It was really funny because the studio was literally in my living room and I had these giant Cerwin Vegas and those were my monitors and they were way too big for that apartment. So even if you turned it up to 3, it was like the neighbors were already knocking on the door, shit was, going down. And yes, it is my voice. It is actually my voice. It's just the lower register. I'm like doing this, lie in the rain and da 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 da. That's what I'm doing. I can go low. I can. I have a what is it? A soprano or an alto? Soprano? I don't know. Whatever it is. But I can go quite low when I really want to. So I can do it. I just don't. Yeah, I needed better neighbors. Yeah. Absolutely. That's so funny. Falsetto is when you do the opposite. When you sing in a very high voice, that's not your high voice. That's falsetto. But when you go down, it's like, hey, like, I'm going to have some sort of dinner when I leave this thing. It's like singing in this voice, that kind of thing. I can do it. That's why everybody thinks that I didn't sing Soul on Fire because of that low voice. Because that's what I used. So anyway. So we're almost down to the end, my friends. My wonderful, beautiful, wonderful people, which I love so much. I am so happy that I get to enjoy this time with you. Even if I have a cold, you've made me feel better. I know it may not even make sense to you, but it makes me feel better. I can leave here thinking, at least I did the stream and I made some people happy and I made some people really sad and I made some people really pissed off. But we're here, Oh, Lisa, when I married my husband, he moved in with some Polk audio speakers that weighed 200 pounds each and a stereo. Nice. Although I don't know if that was nice for you, but I'm sure that was nice for him. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But that sounds about perfect. That's right, Todd. It does. I mean, I want that now because I love hearing stuff really loud. It's more fun. It's more fun when you can hear it like it's in a club. So, man, the studio in New Jersey was flipping loud. That's when the Cerwins and these were 18s, by the way. They used to be on the opposite end of the room, and I would turn them up to like crazy levels. And yep, once a week the cops would knock on the door and be like, "Hey, you need to turn it down, man." So it was funny. Oh man. So funny. All right. So we've got 5 minutes. And we still have some songs. So 1 through 11. Are you ready? Like who had it like ready to go? Like you're like, got it. I got you. So funny. 1 through 11. 1 through 11. I'm going to do this again because it was fun. Because you have no idea what's what. 5. Brian on YouTube said 5. Ooh, I wonder what 5 is. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, we played that one. 5 was clean. 5 was clean, man. Ooh, our 80s life said 1. That one was taken. 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 was taken. So I'm going to go back up. So let's see. What do we got? We've got 4. Priscilla Grace on Meta picked 4. And 4 had yet to be picked. So we have our number. And 4 is an interesting one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is an interesting one for sure. No, but something happened and they kind of, I understand, Steve, but remember there was a train wreck. So clean was 7 and 9 because for whatever reason, I had two versions of Clean on there, and one of them was the instrumental, and that's where the train wreck went. So Priscilla wins. She's got number 4, and number 4 is a strange cover. So this happened because when I first got my Machine, it's a device called Machine. I wanted to try a song on it, and I wanted to try something really just crazy. And so this was basically recorded using Machine and Ableton Live for the nerds out there. But what I really wanted to do was incorporate two devices that I had in the studio at the time that I hadn't really done stuff with. One was a Waldorf Pulse, which I had at the time, and I loved it. And the other, again, was Machine, which was my drums for this. And oh, thank you, Priscilla. That's awesome. Yes, I will see you in Austin. So this is a cover of me doing a song by Portishead. So this is a Portishead song, but me doing a cover of it. And this was my first recording with Machine. And this is Machine Gun.
I saw a savior come my way. I thought I'd see it in the cold light of day. And now I realize that I'm only for me. If only I could see, return yourself from me and recognize the poison in my heart. There is no other place, no one else I'd face. The remedy, you will agree, is how I feel. Here am I reflecting. What more can I say? For I am guilty for the voice that I have made. Too scared to sacrifice the choice chosen for me. If only I could see, return yourself to me and recognize the poison in my heart. There is no other place, no one else I face. The remedy, you will agree, is how I feel.
Yep. Ooh, man. All right, you folks. It's that time. But this is what I'm going to do since we're past the time and I have a cold and yes, I need to go get some rest because I'm like, it's starting to like feel woozy. I'm starting to feel high, but I'm not high. I have got a fever and I think I need to lay down for a little while and just do nothing. But, hey, I didn't miss the stream, man. I didn't miss it. All right? Nah, I'll be fine. Thank you. But thank you for the well wishes. I will be fine. I think I have a very resilient, seriously resilient immune system, for lack of a better word. I really do. I can take almost anything. So I just have to rest. I know what to do. My body knows what to do. It'll fight it. I'll be fine. I should be fine by Monday or Tuesday, which of course is when I have rehearsals. But I'm a trooper. I didn't want to miss this day. And of course, I didn't want to miss, the Bitcoin halving. Like, I didn't want to, not stream on the night of the Bitcoin halving. And I didn't want to not stream on the day of, object for object. I mean, I can't, So anyway, so here it is. A number from 1 to 11, and I will play the last thing that I think we didn't play. And it could be almost anything, because there's, that was the numbers. I'll tell you the ones that you missed, but yeah, pick a number, 1 through 11, and whoever's the last person, you get the number, you get the thing, and, boom, 2, we played 2. Sorry, Donnie. We played 2. We definitely played 2. Y'all are funny. Yeah, 2. Yeah, Donnie, Wendy, Todd. Number 2, we did it. Number 3 was played, as was number 4. We're down to, let me see. I'll tell you right now. Wait, hold on. I'll tell you where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 8, 9, or 10. So there we go. Do it. That's so funny. All right. So we have one. I think we have one. 6. Let's see. What was 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh gosh. Number 6. This is going to be the most embarrassing one yet. So, number 6. Of course, we're going to close with number 6, and people are going to be like, what the hell is this? But what's funny about this song, to me, is that this is more in line with my thinking now, and it's the oldest thing that's on this thing that we played. Like, out of all the stuff we played tonight, this is the oldest. This track, mistakenly, when I played it on the stream, I said it was from 1988, and I was wrong. This track actually goes back to 1985. This is from 1985. I was really a kid. And this was a track that I recorded on my reel-to-reel by doing bouncing from one half of the stereo field to the other and then back again. So this is because I had a reel-to-reel that was not, it was not a 4-track. It was just a 2-track, but it could do sound on sound. So I thought I would record something and just keep doing sound on sound. And I made this weird song that to me was like indicative of the bands I was into at the time, which was, OMD, Joy Division, and all that stuff. So yeah. So, no, we did 4. See what? So 4 and 7 were the same song. That's where I train wrecked. Remember I train wrecked? Clean was both 4 and 7. So, yeah, we did 4, technically. It just train wrecked into number 7. So, yeah. So here we go. Track 6. This is the one that's going to end things off. And then next week I'll play the ones that we missed. And, so no, oh no, this was not a 4-track recording. This This was, I had a reel to reel that had sound on sound, and the only thing what was unique to it is that it did have 4 heads, but the only thing you could do was play the stereo track to the other stereo track while adding something, and then you could bounce it right back. So it wasn't technically a 4-track because you didn't have any sort of control over the 4 tracks. And it wasn't really 4 tracks because you could keep going. And so you're going to hear a lot more than 4 tracks here. And but everything here that you're going to hear was played live. There was no sequencing. There was no I didn't have a sequencer. So everything was a part that I figured out and I just laid down to tape in that sound on sound. So you picked a weird one to end things off, but there it is. The oldest recorded thing that I have on my reel to reel from 1985. And it's actually called Untitled Idea. So I'm going to play that one. I guess we'll turn on the Moonshot as the ending bit. And yeah, we'll play that and then I will say goodnight. Whoops, I forgot to tell you something else. It's relevant. I had a cold. I had a cold. This was 1985, and you can clearly hear, you're going to hear that I have a cold. So I tend to want to record, it must be a self-punishment thing, because I tend to want to record vocals when I'm sick. Don't ask me why. But it appears that's what I've done every time. So I have a cold here, and you'll be able to hear it anyway. Back to the Moonshot. I'll start it over.
Saw you walking in the rain. I stopped. I would hope to get your attention, but you turned away. Yes, you walked away. I smile at the inquisition that you made, and I love. Growing empty, I could hold you, I could hold anything after you.
Ah, man. All right. I'll be nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll play 9, and I'm just going to let it go at that. And then I'm going to say goodnight, okay? Because my cold is like really killing me. One more. Songbirds, The Diary.
I was within you, you were beside me, laughing with the sea and the colored flag, and we rode like leaves in the wind, slowly merging into love. Take my hand to the sky, where they wait to meet us after the rain. Something we say we love them, we say they'll dance to your anthem. Not as cold. I was with you, you were beside me, laughing with the sea and the colored sand. We rode like leaves on the wind, blowing and merging into each other. Songbirds, we saw them swaying, flying through the sky, and we open it, take my tired eyes into the sky, where they wait to meet us after the rain. We can say we love them, say they'll dance as pure as snow, not as cold. It won't be as cold. Some were dancing white leather and dancing with lots of your living things. Time to change and to move ahead, singing songs of laughter forever, singing the song forever, singing the song forever.
And with that, I say goodnight.
I'm tired of it. Can't you see it?